quickly makes it 14-6 in favor of NC State. And now another one of these that we've been looking forward to all week. Top-ranked Nino Bonaccorsi against 8th-ranked Isaac Trumble. And if you're unfamiliar with the history between these two, Isaac Trumble burst onto the scene 2 years ago with a big win over Bonaccorsi in upset fashion. Beat him again before Bonaccorsi got him in the ACC championship last year. So both these guys have had success against one another.
Yeah, they both have had success. Two completely different styles here. Bonaccorsi is a volume shooter. There's never any inactivity in his wrestling style, whereas Trumble is more the defensive mindset. He uses his leverage to put guys in a bad position whenever they take shots. And so here in this matchup, you're going to see Bonaccorsi get on the legs at some point. Probably won't see Trumble take many shots, but he has been able to score from those scrambled positions. And Trumble's so good on top that he's more willing to keep it in a close bout compared to Bonaccorsi's mindset.
Bonaccorsi, you say a volume shooter, but Coach Gavin saying one of the areas he's gotten better this year, he's just been a little more efficient with his shots. And against the guy with the defensive Trumble, this makes up for it, right? They say styles make fights, right? And this is the interesting matchup.
Yeah, and I think he even made that adjustment before ACCs last year. Whenever he took his shots last year in the ACC finals, anytime he got to a single leg, he poked his head out the other side and just kept his head up the whole time. Whereas in those previous matchups, he would just get in on the legs regardless, take volumes of shots, ton of shots, and would put himself in a couple of bad spots. Whereas his shot selection was a bit better in the ACCs, and anytime he got into a shot, he got his head up. So even if he missed on the shot, you know, he was still in a good spot to just give up the free escape or just a stalemate compared to giving up a defensive scramble like we're in right now.
And this is, you say, a defensive scramble. I mean, this is the matchup, right? He's Bonaccorsi in on a shot, and Trumble, who's so tall, he's so lengthy, tough to score on.
Yeah, and so Bonaccorsi's head is stuck between the middle. He's doing a good job of picking that foot up off the mat. Trumble, for a big guy, has a lot of flexibility here, though, and is just sitting on top of Bonaccorsi's head. If at any point in this scramble that you keep seeing throughout the match, any point Trumble is sitting on top of Bonaccorsi's head, Trumble's in a pretty good spot to stalemate the position. Now, where this makes an interesting style matchup, if Bonaccorsi keeps shooting like this, he's going to earn a stall call against Trumble. So Trumble's got to do a good job of hand fighting. He is good upper body, so if you can sort of ice away some of the time in the period by getting to an underhook and slowing the match down, you start decreasing the likelihood of giving up a stall call. Because Bonaccorsi is going to shoot. That's in his nature. He's just going to keep shooting. So there we're back to this position. Bonaccorsi's got his head in the middle. He's getting his head up. He's in a better position than he was earlier. Trumble's looking to shove his head underneath and sit on it there. And there you're looking at, okay, this doesn't look like a great spot, but Trumble's in the better spot here in the eyes of what they're trying to do stylistically. And there Bonaccorsi's getting his head up. Trumble's going to look to lock around the leg and in the crotch here. Still doesn't look like a great spot, but Trumble's just so used to being in these positions sometimes.
Bonaccorsi taking a look at the clock and realizing no time to get out.
A little bit of frustration there. Bonaccorsi, you're doing everything right to get in the legs, and then you're just running into this weird kind of style of guys just so tall and lanky.
So Bonaccorsi is ranked #1 in the country. You see Trumble just outside the top 5. And Bonaccorsi with a win, of course, over 5th-ranked Younger Bastida on Saturday. Quick escape here.
So after the first period, you got to consider that a win for Trumble. Of concern if you're an NC State fan, however, keep in mind, the referees always have a shot clock counter in their head. Right now, it's 2 major attacks of Bonaccorsi to 0 attacks from Trumble. So anytime you start getting into that 4 to 5 range, that's when a stall call should probably be warranted. And they do keep a track in their head. They are counting these shots. So it wouldn't surprise me around that 4th or 5th shot that's unanswered that you're going to hit for stalling. One thing Trumble has done well, though, is holding center of the mat. That does play a factor into stall calls.
Just from an optics point of view?
Yeah, and anytime somebody's just kind of backing up, you're showing that, yeah, you're not the offensive person. Trumble has taken some jabs at legs, which I don't think will be enough in the grand scheme of things, but it's delaying a stall warning for sure. He's kept in the middle of the mat, hasn't really retreated. He has given up the shot attempts, but hasn't really shown that he's not interested in being in those exchanges.
Well, we haven't seen a major attack from Bonaccorsi here in the second period yet.
Red, you're warned!
So
there's the stall warning.
There's a stall warning a little bit earlier than what I thought, but I think just because of how good the attacks were and how deep he's gotten on the legs and how long these exchanges are, I think he got rewarded there. I don't see any problem with that.
Keep that legal!
Once again, you see Trumble on the head of Bonaccorsi.
Yep. So Trumble keeps sitting on the head. That's a good spot for him, but he can't score from there. So we head to the third period. We've got an interesting scenario to play out. Okay. Well, Trumble's very good on top. I don't know if you're Bonaccorsi, what you do.
That's what I was going to ask you, because last year at Pitt, he beat Bonaccorsi 2-0. And obviously, if you go bottom here, you risk that right out.
I think, so Bonaccorsi picks neutral.
Red, you have a warning.
I think the big turning point in that decision was getting the stall warning.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you go bottom, you risk giving up all that time and all that momentum. And whereas if you just start the third period in neutral, okay, you're beating them in shot attempts.
So now if you're Trumble, at what point do you try to take a shot just to avoid that stall?
I don't know if you do, because I think if you take a shot, then you're not known to be the offensive guy, and Bonaccorsi is pretty good at those re-attacks. I think if you're Trumble, you try to just keep getting underhooks. Slow this match down somehow without giving up the legs. And here, Popolizio's yelling score here. You've got to make this exchange last longer than just 10, 15 seconds. You've got to waste some time here, because Bonaccorsi is going to keep firing off shots.
Oh, Trumble.
Right easy.
Picked him up, and Bonaccorsi dropped on his head, and a point awarded.
I have never seen that in a wrestling match before. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yes. No, you don't have injury time.
So Bonaccorsi's in that split the middle position. He's got two ankles. Trumble has a body lock, picks him up, and if it was freestyle wrestling, he would have been able to kind of throw him over the top for exposure points, but in folk style, doesn't get you anything. So what he did was just like, you know, put him back to the mat. But what you can't do is leave both your feet. You can't leave both your feet and just knee pound to the mat. I don't think he tried to land Bonaccorsi on his head. I think he was trying to land him back down and then sprawl and chase behind, but it's just that's a weird position, and I get why they called that, because he landed right on his head, you know, and it looked like an Undertaker special kind of move. But now Bonaccorsi's in the driver's seat, taking a ton of shots. Trumble's got to find a way to score defensively, I think. Because I don't know, 45 seconds of this attack rate, I think he might get hit for stalling.
The pit side calling for two, and there it is.
You've got two.
Bonaccorsi, who lost in the regular season last 2 years to Trumble, got him in the ACC championship, now in control in the third.
Always doesn't quit. You watch his matches, he never gives up. You know, he's got that spirit of just dog mentality, and they keep going, keep going, keep going. Trumble's in a good spot here to get a reversal. And he's reversal. We're going to overtime. I might have been talked too soon about that dog mentality and never giving up, because Trumble never gives up here.
This is one of our featured bouts for a reason. It is not disappointing.
Has not. Keep in mind, those stall calls carry over to overtime. Trumble's been hit. He hasn't taken a major attack yet. Bonaccorsi looks a little winded, but both these guys are competitive. Both are tough.
We're
going to find out who's tougher in this situation.
Their fourth meeting, and it goes to OT. Trumble with a little momentum after the reversal, and the home crowd behind it. NC State asking for a stall warning.
I sense a little bit of a momentum shift here. Trumble finally gets to his underhook. You got to think of shots coming from Bonaccorsi, but the fact that he was able to push him forward is a huge sign in this match.
Well, it's got to be deflating to give up that reversal with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, especially after all that work to get the takedown. He finally makes an adjustment to finish in that position. Then giving up that reversal, Trumble's back to the underhook, back to where he's probably best at in this neutral position.
Trumble on a re-attack.
Trumble's got to get that right leg sprawled backwards. And there he breaks the grip. He's going to look to lock around the body.
1 minute to go.
This is advantage Trumble here. He's got to get his weight back. He's looking to step over that ankle. Now he's going to look to lock in the crotch and step over. He's in a good spot here. He's got to get his weight forward. Should be 2.
Still plenty of time left.
Bonaccorsi still has a hold of the leg, so no 2 yet. But he's in a good position. If he can get his weight back and break that lock. Bonaccorsi's not giving up on this position, though.
Trumble.
Roll through, scramble.
And potentially dangerous is whistled here. Still a lot of time left.
That was wild. I thought at 2 points there, Trumble was dead set on getting that takedown, but Bonaccorsi just never stops wrestling. You got to give an extreme amount of credit to both these guys for that. They've never stopped wrestling this whole entire bout. Now as we head to the mat, you got to think advantage goes to Trumble here. Bonaccorsi didn't pick bottom in the regulation.
Right.
Your choice, Red.
So no points scored in the 2-minute sudden victory period.
If you're Bonaccorsi here, you have to sell out on getting a ride out.
You go to the tiebreakers.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it up to you having to get out from bottom. So sell out on this ride out.
And you'll take a caution. Like you said, sell out.
Yep. Sell out for the ride out because you know that whenever Trumble gets on top, you're not in the favorable position. Keep in mind here, riding time's eliminated once we go to overtime, so we're starting at scratch here. 0 seconds of riding time for both guys. However, in overtime here in this ride-out, if the score is tied at the end of these 2 periods, these 2 30-second periods, whoever has more riding time will win the match. So, say, for example, if Trumble gets out, gets an escape, Bonaccorsi has 17 seconds of riding time, and Trumble gets 18 seconds of riding time and gets up an escape, Trumble would win with the riding time. But here, Bonaccorsi selling out for that ride out.
Trumble to his feet. 10 seconds.
Trumble gets the escape.
Now they've got on the clock here under 22 seconds. But that was about 27 seconds. The clock started late there. Trumble got out with about 3 seconds left.
It's showing 26 seconds of riding time. It should be 26 seconds of riding time advantage for Pitt. So what this means, obviously, if Trumble rides out this 30-second, he wins the match. It'll be 4-3. But, all right, if he gives up an escape in less than 26 seconds, he's got to score. Sure. Bonaccorsi would win the match if he leaves, if he has riding time on the board, whoever, they would win in a tie situation. So Trumble, in your mentality, you got to ride out.
He's thinking, I got to ride it out.
Got to ride it out.
And Bonaccorsi, again, has set the bar at 26 seconds.
Trumble has a stall call. Keep that in mind. He's got to climb up from here. gives up the escape. Bonaccorsi would win right now if it ended here.
A quick escape for the
Trumble's gotta
top-ranked
score.
wrestler in the country. Trumble's got to score, but it's Bonaccorsi getting to his offense.
Out of bounds.
They go off the mat with 10 seconds left. Wow, what a job by Bonaccorsi here in the tiebreaker.
It's so impressive the way he was getting his elbows back. Right?
Thanks, man.
Anytime your
We had two
elbows are
takedowns there.
forward, Trumble can come inside and grab at that claw. He got his elbows sucked in right at the whistle and just really eliminated anything for Trumble to grab onto, and he just exploded out. Just grit. That's really what it comes down to. Great technique, but just the heart of a warrior out there. The guy never gave up. Both guys didn't play.
Yeah.
Really impressive victory.
Trumble gets a reversal with 5 seconds left to force overtime, but it's the top-ranked wrestler at 197, Nino Bonaccorsi, who doesn't just get the escape, but he gets the takedown as well.
There was times that match where you thought he was a little tired, but he always came back. Always came back.
Heavyweights on their way next.